Hi Roanoke County, I'm here at the Vinton Firehouse where I am here with the Community Outreach Coordinator, Brian Klingenpeel.
Yes, we are so glad to have you guys today. It's a C-shift day. We're going to be hanging out with our career folks here at the Vinton Firehouse today and seeing what they do, kind of typical day in the life of a firefighter, and hopefully maybe we'll even get to run some calls.
That would be awesome. Thank you for having us.
You bet. So this is what we call our truck bay. So this is where the trucks are. I think it's generally what people think of when they think of a firehouse, is where we park the trucks. Of course, there are hose racks and other equipment, gear racks. We generally run one ambulance and one fire truck out of this station every day. There's usually 2 people. We have a student today as well, so there'll be 3 people on the ambulance, and then there's 3 people on the fire truck.
They got a call.
We hopped on the fire truck really fast. We just yielded to our ambulance who will beat us to the scene, and it's probably a good thing.
When we get a call, most of the time we can pull it up on our active 911. It gives us an address. It gives us like a one-line sentence of what we're going to. So it kind of gives us that initial response. So from that point on, we started thinking about, so what are we really dealing with?
So we found out that this person is having symptoms of a stroke. So we had the ambulance that met us over here, and then we were on the fire truck riding over here in case the ambulance couldn't get here right on time.
If they would have been a little bit farther out, we would have been on scene a little bit longer to stabilize until the next due ambulance would have arrived, which would have been probably Mount Pleasant or wherever it's coming from. But that's typically why we go out on the fire truck, is when we don't have an ambulance in-house, we have to respond.
We don't just take people to the hospital, we actually go to their homes and talk to them and get their story. And for me, I kind of find that connecting with patients or connecting with people makes a big difference, because then they realize that, okay, maybe I don't need to go to the hospital and I can call my doctor. I've made doctor's appointments for patients. I've made appointments for COVID tests for patients because they didn't know how, or they didn't have anybody to help them do it.
This is primarily where our volunteers from the Vinton First Aid Crew, most nights of the week, they are able to get another truck in service, and that just helps us with running calls in Vinton and other parts of the county. They have a UTV that they use for when they have special events here, Vinton Christmas Parade, Dogwood Festival, all kinds of special events that the town has.
Fire station life is definitely different from a lot of workplaces. We spend a third of our lives here, and the guys that we work with are more or less our brothers, our family, with lack of a better term. We eat here, we sleep here, we work out, we train, we run calls, we have a good time, and it's definitely a different atmosphere than you would get anywhere else, like if you worked a 9-to-5 job.
This is our bunk room. Notice anything?
It is really cold, and
it is really cold. So cold, they tell me, makes for good sleeping. So most firehouse bunk rooms I've ever been in are freezing, because it's freezing and it's usually dark.
Yeah.
Because that all leads to good sleep. Firehouse kitchen is always kind of the center of activity. I think in most homes, I like to think of the fire station as kind of like a house. These guys are a family. They work a 24-hour shift. They're here from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And so they do a lot of the same things that a normal family would do together. They share their meals, they do chores, they learn, they have fun. Physical fitness is huge for firefighters, EMTs. We need to stay in as best of shape as possible. So that's why the workout space is cardio, and this is considered part of our work day. We can go maybe see the trucks, and maybe even a good thing to do is, I hear they haven't done truck checks yet today.
Yes.
So you'll get to get up close and personal with the fire truck.
The most important thing on a fire ground, right, is to have water. We want to make sure that our truck is actually going to flow water, and make sure my air bottle's at the correct pressure as well.
I always think these are so heavy.
Once you walk around on the fire ground for about 20-30 minutes, your shoulders start to hurt.
Oh yeah,
it's heavy. And that's one thing we are required to do every day, is to make sure that the air from this is actually working. Because worst case scenario is to be on a fire ground and not have any air. This is our actual extrication equipment. We can actually use this to like stick it in a door and shove the door wide open. You can try to hold this if you want. This one's pretty heavy too.
Okay. I'm stronger than I look. Maybe not that much stronger.
Usually, if we have to use those, it's not a very good day. In the event that on a fire scene, a firefighter actually goes down inside of the fire building, we'll activate our RIT team. And the RIT team will go in with this pack, which has a 60-minute bottle of air. To consider this bottle full, we want it between 43 and 4,500 PSI. Right now it's sitting right at 44, which is exactly what we want. It's so much different doing this stuff on camera. I feel like I'm overthinking everything that I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty competent in my skills, I know that, but then I get in front of a camera and it's like, what am I doing? This is our 5-inch. This is the biggest hose we have. And in about a square foot of 5-inch hose is 1 gallon of water. So this hose weighs a lot as it is, and a gallon of water weighs about 8 pounds. So in 100 foot of our 5-inch, you have about 800 pounds of water.
All right, we are finishing up our day here at Vinton Fire Station, and we just want to give a big thank you to the team here today for showing us a little bit of everything they do on an average day.